Hello everyone, this is Ninja DC joining you again for another React video. This is from MLP Season 9, Episode 11. We're almost halfway through the last season already.
Oh,
Wow!
no!
Oh no!
You give me reason for using like animators to escape this world after cartoons are done in the face for 2020. Come on, man. You can't do this.
I know we're only halfway through.
Yet.
We're halfway through the end.
Where's my future episode?
We want jetpacks, darn it! We demand ponies with jetpacks. Other than that,
Yeah.
Boy,
All right, but I guess
jump
with that,
the shark, you blast off the shark.
pretty much, yes.
but I guess with that said, joining me again is a herd of bronies.
Hello, you ponies. I'm a herd of bronies. Welcome back to Let's Watch MLP's final season.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Carlos.
Gator, come on. Gator.
Carlos!
Gator! Gator!
Housekeeping!
Housekeeping, give us Google Hangouts!
All right, I guess while he deals with something, I guess while he's away, Daylover.
Hey everybody, Dayla here. Can't wait for the next episode. I'm sorry for the Danish last time, but that was funny. Next.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Next, Jenn.
Hello, everyone. This is Jen, ready to watch the episode.
Yeah.
All right, and next up, second to last.
Stay back. This is gonna get bad. About to show this whole crew how to critique like a grad. Grade A review or ruin your A+ grade. Get second opinion critiques dirty like my hoof print stains. I'm a postmodern critic, boy, who's got a lot of issues with your episode. And getting you for that. Second opinion here. Critic first, fan second. Let's do it.
Darn, that would have been so good with the beatboxing. I think the timing's probably going to be off on that.
Probably if we know how technology works.
Yeah, probably.
Which is that it doesn't.
And that's even in the future, nothing works.
It was true when he said it, and it's true now.
Very true.
All true.
Very true. So let's get this going.
All right. Let's see. Oh wait, we have to wait for Carlos. Carlos.
Somebody do the game.
Carlos, unmute your mic.
What?
There we go.
Like, really, I really had to be interrupted that this is MLP here saying, you guys gotta make sure you know where your stuff is at all times before crossing into the reaction zone. Make sure that it doesn't go out in an airlock and watch it fly into the ether. That is the mechanism space. Quick.
Okay.
And he comes with his own theme music.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Oh no, I better hope this is not copy.
Eh?
And we were silent.
Ah.
Yeah, we were silent by the copyright.
It's probably copyrighted, yeah.
Yeah, so let's just get episode 11 started then. Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Does everyone have the episode up? Actually,
Yep.
grab that episode. All right. Loading up myself.
Gotta make sure.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Ooh, that's kind of cool.
There it loads.
What now?
All right.
All right.
Oh wait, nope.
Alright.
That's so 10. Sorry,
Aw.
computer's being a little slow right now. I pulled up the wrong episode. Pulled up episode 10, not 11.
Whoops.
All right. Thinking of it up.
So, yeah. This is why My Little Pony should be teaching us more lessons like this.
Yep.
All this
All
treat
right.
kids smarter now. Treat them like they're less smart. How to
All
count.
right.
Why do you
Wow,
think
that's
we all turned out like this?
All right. Is everyone ready?
Wait. Yes, ready.
Ready.
Wait. Hold on. Oh no. Wait. Ready? Come back. Okay, ready.
All
Yeah.
right. Everyone, press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Here we go.
Yeah, it starts right away.
It's
No
a
intro.
Trixie episode.
Oh.
She prepared a tea party.
Oh my god. They're going with the stereotypical non-villain.
Going to make a more of
Oh my god. Does she now have a beeper?
Wow. Wow, she's on house arrest.
Yeah.
I guess somebody figured
Oh
out.
my
I guess she
God.
finally figured out that Bender and Las Pegasus would cost her.
All right, so the basic
Rangers.
prioritizing your time with friends and work.
I still know Trixie's sort of gotten used to this. Annoyed, yes,
Yeah.
but I was like,
Just
just like,
putting more sugar in her coffee. That's
I
nice.
love that spoon look that she's doing right now.
No.
Oh my god, we're
Range on the teleportation has gone up pretty big.
Guys,
Yeah.
this is warning signs of Applejack stay off. Abort this episode mission.
So is this Sweet and Elite Part 2?
Oh my gosh, is it? It's the it's the Twilight and Starlight. I'm sorry, the Starlight and Trixie edition.
Just like take a message.
That is the angriest. That is the angriest sip of tea I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is posh. This is how the posh people show their anger.
Proto Zatanna.
Right. Intro.
Yeah.
I love Brony.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Reds.
Josh Haber.
Oh dear, here we go again.
This is my life now. This is my life.
Maybe this is one
Of course, it's a Starlight episode. Josh Haber.
It's good. It's going to be
Wouldn't
good.
throw
Come
up
on.
much of a reaction though if he weren't the season editor.
Maybe.
I mean, he's kind of become the definition of solid but unspectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am an unspectacular man. Average in every way that can
Oh,
provide
I like Silver streaming this. She's cute. As always.
I wonder if like the pony
And
stream
Peter
is this
Griffin
way.
showed up and said, "I checked, and you're not a licensed therapist." Roadhouse.
Oh,
I wonder if that's the one that had like whatever problems.
An actual problem.
Wait, spring solstice? Isn't that winter wrap up?
winter rabbit, winter. Oh, sorry.
It's the pony continues.
Mhm.
Not even sure.
No, I think it's separate, like spring sol.
Oh, she's so rude to that guy. Did you see? Oh no.
Oh god, Starlight's gonna overwork herself.
Oh.
Dang.
Is she gonna do that spell where she clones herself?
Probably.
You mean the dual
That could be
spell?
nice.
It's
Yeah.
very weird for Trixie to be given friendship lessons,
Yeah.
but it's sort of fitting at the same time. Oh no!
Haven't we learned this lesson
Oh.
before?
We have lost Jenn. T-minus.
Maybe.
I lost her in Skype too.
Oh no.
Oh, Diana. Jen, come back.
Oh my god. Of course he's.
Oh, Sunburst is coming.
Mrs. Cake changed her mind about being Starlight's friend. I mean, don't overload yourself. Like, I could have sworn there was at least one episode about that, if not more.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my god.
So,
Really do appreciate your freak outs, Trixie.
Burns are real. Oh, okay.
You're gonna need to remove that bracelet.
Starlight.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. All of a sudden the connection just conked out on me. I'm so sorry, guys.
it's alright.
Yeah.
Where are we where are you guys?
We're
5:30, 31,
31,
32, 33.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God, you're stepping into the wrong
Oh, wait, everyone, go back to pause and go back to 5.
Pause the episode.
Yeah, because
Go
Jen
back to
conked out for a second.
Go back to
5.
5 on the nose. Alright.
Alright.
5
5
on
on the nose, where you see Trixie sticking up.
5 on the
Let's see, I mean, off the top of my head, it resembles Once Upon a Zapella, like Twilight trying to take it all on herself. Kind of, sort of, Lesson Zero, like, I gotta get every little thing done. Actually, maybe why it feels so reminiscent is because the Twilight plot is, so much to handle.
I just want to ask, can you all hear Jen right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. Yeah, she dropped from Skype again.
Yeah.
Jen?
Yeah.
Are you speaking to us?
Jen, did you try to lose connection again?
Yeah, her Wi-Fi is a little spotty.
Okay, so let's do the 1/4 point review. 1/4 of the way through the episode review. What's everyone think of it so far?
It looks like the opposite of Sweet and Elite. It's like the other side of it.
Yeah.
Like trying to balance like spending time with friends and like and work, and like you're trying to like keep your mind on both of them.
Okay, I'm back again.
Hey, Jen. Welcome back from the brink.
Oh my gosh, here we go again. Let's see if I can get Ninja back on Skype again. What is going on with this stupid thing?
Yeah.
Wing wing.
That's at least the straight going up.
Wing wing.
You know what this is? This is Apple
Oh
Buck
dear.
season.
Oh my god. It is.
Yeah.
Apple Buck season.
Apple Buck season.
Jack's trying to take on all the
Oh
responsibility.
wow! Now even Skype's working.
The Apple Buck season and keep
Oh
her
my
obligations
goodness.
to her friends.
Oh,
Where is it?
Yeah.
That's
And there's Derek.
It's too much.
Wow.
All right. I can
Only
hear
twice.
Jen. I don't.
How does
think
that
she can
happen?
hear you.
oh okay.
How does that happen?
Have Jen call me again on Skype.
I'm in here twice. How does that happen?
Over
Call.
Skype, Jen. If you can hear me.
Called the Skype
Oh.
of Derek.
I can hear her. I just can't. She can't hear me right now.
Alright.
All right, Jen. Can you hear me now, Jen?
Jen.
And again,
And
Yeah.
again.
round and round it goes.
Oh, one Jen's still here.
That's the fake one.
Round and round I stay. Round and round. Bill Joe Clark, you ain't got long to stay.
The gens have returned.
And she's out again.
Oh.
Jen, stop pulling a starlight on us.
Oh my god.
Actually, is oddly good timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen's like, oh, I have to go. I'm back. Like, I'm back to do this reaction. Like, I promise. Like, no, I have to go. Other responsibilities. I'm back. I'm back. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Yeah, but from what I understand, just give sort of update. Yeah, it seems to be Wi-Fi related, not maybe she meant internet. I'm not sure, but wait, can you all hear right now? Or
Yeah.
I haven't
No,
heard
she's
from
not
you.
actually here. That's like a ghost one.
Yeah.
all right, well, I said I can't tell because when she joins again, I can't hear on the
It's
thing,
like
so it's like guesstimating.
Actually, I guess it might also be bringing to mind all bottled up, like Starlight trying to take on so much of Trixie annoying her, and it
But isn't that like okay?
too much. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a question of whether they're okay. There's such a thing as reusing plots. I mean,
I think it's too early to sort of pin it down to something.
well,
I mean, it is
so
similar so far.
I mean, so far it is using the too much work formula. But everybody else wants you to do this or this, and how will I ever balance it? Like,
by making
well, I
clones
think
of
the main
yourself.
lesson is to like you have to know when to say no and this sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, who can all hear Jen right now?
or how to be
No, still not.
You know what else, actually, speaking of Applejack episodes, it's also kind of Applejack's day off. In fact,
That's
it's
what I've been
that
saying.
than it is Applejack's season.
What I said earlier in the episode, like, this is warning signs of Applejack's Day Off Part 2, Starlight Edition.
I mean,
I'm in.
well, it didn't start out with a cringy image of Rarity, so already it has the edge over that. I mean, like, I don't know, Applejack's Day Off was just, like, full of so much aggressive pointlessness, and this isn't necessarily that so far, so it had, like, well, Applejack's Day Off, though, to preface this, is on my 10 worst list, so I don't think this is going to be that, because we've had hundreds of episodes. You have to do something, well, you have to be a straight-up bad episode to get on my 10 worst list.
So you see what your dreams do about it. Yeah.
We are now in an endless void of like us being second 5.
No, don't want to be in the endless void.
We're this is reminding me of what about Sparkle 7's reaction, in which we were stuck at the number 5 in our reaction until like the whole thing kind of went off. Like, yeah.
Although that was Daily Motion, this is just Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi, yeah. I'm just saying similarities here. Ooh.
I guess Jen's Wi-Fi is still bad. I was reading a message back and forth from her. So I guess we'll just start again, and she might join the discussion afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is everyone ready at 5 exactly?
5:00, yes.
5 flat.
5.
Yeah.
5
minutes on the dot.
All right. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
All right. Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Starlight's face.
I mean, there's such a thing as saying, okay, office hours over, as I'm unavailable, come back for the next appointment. Like, the idea that a guidance counselor spends all of her, like, all hours of the day in her office.
Yeah, office hours is
No,
important.
it's sort of,
too.
and it's funny how things went because she went from having pretty much not enough work to having way too much.
Yes.
But
Did she say anything about having not enough work?
Oh, remember like when
Yeah.
she first got the friendship counseling lesson
Right?
last season?
Mhm.
Yeah, but she could take her students or her ponies that she's counseling with her, right?
No one's sure about what they are.
Mm.
Smaller.
No,
Wow.
Starlight,
Wow.
you're bad. Oh no, the blue all
Flowering
over.
sticks.
Oh,
Horses
ew.
with glue.
Oh,
Oh my god.
I don't need more of that right now.
Oh.
Ah.
Ooh. Silent Jesus.
Oh, wow,
That's smart.
okay, yeah.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, if the job is done, it's fine. Oh.
Who am I? Am I a bugbear?
Oh,
So now it's looking more like a problem of organization.
yeah.
Swirl.
But she's bound to have free sometime, right? Oh,
Oh.
I'm gonna learn a lesson from Mrs. Cake.
maybe.
Ah.
Oh, that's a little dark. Ooh.
Okay. Synonym for dry, yeah, that's where you probably need to tell them to.
Oh, maybe it was really important though.
No. Yeah, maybe you could have been nicer about that. Is this gonna be a backfire?
Yeah, maybe
Oh my
you
God.
should just have heard it and
Right here.
like then
Run.
so. Oh, don't
Mudbriar, shut up.
put the skippers in the mouth.
Don't worry, honey. Things are gonna be okay.
Aw,
Okay, I think that's her tone when she means it.
yeah, when she's happy.
Oh, it's him again.
Gotta tear my.
What? Oh, that's her brother, right?
Oh man. Something nerdy. Oh.
Stream is busy.
Yikes.
Oh, Trixie.
Dang. Ooh.
And it's going to be all Starlight's fault when they find her.
Oh. Oh.
Well, at least Trixie's willing to stand up on that puppy, huh?
It's just like, he's actually right. Sarah, it's like, it had to be a convenient problem, and it's like, oh, it had to be. Oh my god.
Oh, Mudbriar, shut up.
Oh, my god.
Yeah, he's learning.
Yeah.
Oh man. I love this.
I don't know.
The disassembling of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, in the party canon. I don't know. The difference between Maud and Mudbriar, like, we weren't supposed to hate Maud. We were just supposed to be unable to relate to her, and then that was supposed to change over time. Like Mudbriar, there's not really a change with him. So far, he's just one note.
But maybe she likes it one note.
Oh god, we're going back to that season plot line.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is still not.
Oh, of course. Okay, grab Fluttershy while you're at it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah. This is like a really interesting fight with you guys. Start alive.
There's that.
Yeah.
Moral time.
Ah!
Ma just told a non-rock joke. Congratulations.
You're a comedian. Ooh.
Okay. Are you going to put it in your hat or what, Trixie?
Well,
Oh, okay.
that's something, I think.
Oh my god, this is literally like the thing all over again. This first episode now, I'm getting flashbacks. Of course, you're always going left. That is the most easiest direction you can make here.
Oh, she's actually going to be right.
Now we're going right. Now
To
we're
the
going
left, to the left.
I really like the design right now of Everfree.
To the right,
They've updated it.
Mm-hmm.
So cockatrices are upwind. Well, he's good for something.
Trades of a single step.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm now Oasis. I can
Alright.
taste the perfume of where you're gone. Very soon.
Creepy.
Let's ask the magic conch.
Nothing.
Ask the walking map. That's not a wet map.
Oh, that's gonna be Maud's thing.
Shade tree.
Oh, who knew?
Oh my god.
Maybe it's mating season. Worked
They're
out.
cockatoos.
Sure
oh
enough.
My god. The panic button. The panic button.
Yeah, this is
Emily.
why you should have brought Fluttershy.
How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, flying blind.
The only way to escape them is by swimming.
Oh, that looked painful.
Ow. Oh wow, okay.
Lazily possessed.
Gather everyone back up there.
Dang. Dang. Oh, man. Wait, can't you close back? Come on. Happy bird.
Timing.
Yeah.
So good.
Wow,
Not
okay.
that. I'm using lock throw.
Oh no!
Oh, jeez.
Now he's become the true perfect boyfriend.
Oh my god. Oh no. Poor Mudbry.
Oh,
Oh no. This is the ultimate end goal for
oh
that.
jeez. And you have to get the cockatrice to turn him back.
Well, I felt like she had a stone fetish, so wouldn't it be fine just
Well, that's what she said. She didn't think she could love him anymore. And sure enough.
Oh.
Okay, admittedly, that's freaking hilarious.
Oh my god. This is funny.
In a painful kind of way.
It is the cinematic part 2. How many more callbacks can we get? And we have the
they're running to the
How did they fix this place up?
Yeah, they did.
She's in the tree.
Yeah.
At least you got your priorities straight, Mom.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing to think about right now. And still, consider how much that last one is a benefit against the others.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she's in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Waka waka. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Think you could help her out with that?
Nope.
Oh. Oh my god. She's managed to tame a cockatrice.
How about that?
No, she tamed the cockatrice.
They use Ex Machina for Mudbriar.
Yes. Oh.
That cockatrice looks so weird.
Oh. You have to say it's cute.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Ooh.
I still don't like Mudbriar.
But this has made me like him a lot more, at least for me.
Yeah. Oh, yes, finally.
Yeah.
Yes, office hours.
The moral.
Wow. That's a sick bird if I ever saw one, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god. Is that a reference to a Blaney song?
Wicka.
All right.
So, I'm down for some fun shenanigans with like the Suicide Squad, excluding Thorax and Discord.
Yeah, not really the Suicide Squad anymore,
This
but
is a Josh. Oh, this is a Josh Haber episode.
Yes, it was.
But
And
yeah, like I mean,
surprisingly-
it was.
It was surprisingly more peppy, or like it had more energy than like a Josh Haber most recent ones from him.
In the final third, it did. Like it. I mean, I don't know if it was saving its chips or what, but I mean that like just about everything. Any complaints I think were redeemed by a real like freewheeling climax.
It seemed like around like the third and like the near the end of the second act, it seemed to like put aside the moral and just focus on just all the action. And I want to say
if it put aside the moral, it had Starlight keep saying it out loud again and again and again. But yeah, it didn't like ground itself in that, force itself to stick to that.
I don't know if they made that part too long or made it take up too much of the episode, but I don't know. I'm just seems to be fine with it.
Yeah, also nice. Actually, if I could go, I really enjoyed this episode. I think it was nice to see Starlight and Trixie together again after a while. Although I must admit, like it was like you could see what was going to happen into the future, as we all knew it was a lesson that we had before. But I think like this was more, I'll not say subtle, but yeah, it was a little bit more over the place. So I'll say that. But the last plot with the trees and all of that good stuff, I really like that, because like then we can see that Silverstream is becoming the new main six. The element of kindness. She's overtaking Fluttershy's job.
I'd say the kindness is probably still more
Celis.
Celis. But like you can sort of see the influence, because like they didn't say it, but like I highly expect like this is like her project is based off Fluttershy's class, which is like sort of what Fluttershy deals with, so you can sort of see their influence. Yeah. Also, I absolutely love the design of the cockatrice, the friendly cockatrice. I just love that design.
That was really good.
That was good. And I also like the ring, because like you guys were like, oh, she has house arrest. Yeah, I was actually thinking like you had the same thing, because I did this and stuff like that. I thought that she did something wrong, but no, it's just her job calling her in to do her stuff. And I thought like she would have plans like that already, because like isn't it Twilight that gave her this job with being this at the school, or am I wrong? Wasn't it Twilight that gave her this job with being like the?
Oh yeah. Yes. And Twilight owned the whole school, so yeah.
What does Twilight do? She makes up like plans and schedules and stuff like that. I won't believe like Twilight didn't have handed her a schedule at one point and being like, I think like you should follow this. It doesn't make any sense. but
No,
probably just threw it out because like she's yeah, we first. I don't know. It just don't make sense for me. It was only that was the problem, or how to say that. I wish like there were something more, but again, it was okay episode, and we got a nice facial expressions from both of them. That's probably going to be memed.
Yeah,
And
I think
oh my god, the glue pony. No, I don't want more rule 34, please. Can we please stop with all of that good stuff? And that was it.
I think as far as the facial animations, I feel like they're sticking to hand drawing them more rather than sticking with like the base model and then just editing it a little bit. I think they're just going free range with it.
And I want you to meme it still.
Well, yeah, it started with like there's a little like few moments that like yeah you could meme, but now it's like it's feeling more integrated with like the overall length.
And I still like Maud Breyer. I think like he's funny, but I guess I'm alone there.
Well, he is getting more development. He's changing a little bit.
And his joke is by not so coincidence getting less painful and funnier.
Yeah. So we can always hope like there's going to be even more development. And maybe then she will break up with him because like then he's becoming too much, too intricate or how.
Nah, she's not gonna break up with him.
Yeah.
Nah, probably not.
We worked so hard to make a carbon copy, but also sort of his own thing, so we could not have any actual chemistry between Maud and another character.
Yeah, I just realized like there's
anyway.
kites in Starlight's room. Kites in the ceiling. That's actually a nice touch. With all of these details. And I felt like Trixie was going to make cups or teacups in this time. I'm just kidding. But it was a nice episode, and that was all. Night night, you guys.
Sweet dreams.
Can I now say like my thing before I have to leave now?
Go ahead.
So I have to say like this episode definitely was like the biggest flashback to like multiple old episodes at the same time, and it was probably one of the best that this episode stand out quite greatly with like the great chemistry between like the new couple around like Sunburst and Trixie and Starlight, just really like having like a bomb like hanging out with each other like this. It just really makes like this new secondary main six of like secondary and tertiary characters a lot more of a fun group to like want to see more of, even though this is like the final season, and you just gotta wish for like, hey, let's have one more episode of these characters all together because they really are such a rocking smash. Am I right? I'm just hoping that I'm not hitting it out to the sticks, if you get what I'm saying. Really gotta hit it for this episode. It certainly came out as a great hit.
All right. Alex, you have any thoughts on this episode?
I'm just trying to remember what was the conclusion that Starlight reached at the end. Did she
that she needs to release like off? She needs to have specific hours. Like like there's just too much work for her to be constantly open. She just needs to have set hours, and it's not fair for anyone just to constantly be working, sort of thing.
All right. Yeah, that. I guess you could say that's a reasonable conclusion. But yeah, overall, I like this episode a lot. I think it's great to see that group one more time before the end of the show. And I think this really gave a good end to that.
All right. I guess in second, do you have any other thoughts right now? Yeah, that's what I'd be giving mine. Like I agree with what you said, Alex. Like overall, I really like this episode. Had nice flow and all. Like it was not predictable, but it reminded me a lot of like the last episode we watched, where we generally know the direction it was going, but like this beats along the way were actually surprisingly surprising. And the character interaction was good. I was like, Mudbriar is much better. Was much better in this episode than the last time we've seen him, or at least I guess the last major time, because I think we might have had one other appearance besides the episode he was introduced.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Either way, yeah, I felt he was much more enjoyable and also much more complimentary to Mod. I guess a second still muted. I guess we'll let this call it a day and see y'all next week.
All right, see ya.
Okay, second opinion and Jenn here to give our final thoughts after they were ruined by technology and maybe a little bit of miscommunication too.
Even in the future, things don't work.
Exactly.
We're supposed to be in 2019, not 1919. How'd everything get so messed up?
Well, it's very simple. Before we've got everything straightened out, we want to invent something new with its own problems. In
Pretty
fact,
much.
That probably benefits companies because then we have to keep paying them to fix it. It's all a twisted scheme, you see. I've got the whole system figured out. This guy on YouTube here. You're welcome.
Wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. That actually does make a lot of sense. I need to like copy and paste that answer so that if someone asks me like, why doesn't anything in the future work? That's the answer to use.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, I should probably thank Chris Rock for applying the same theory to medicine, but that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Don't you have to thank Doc Holliday for like even saying the line in the first place, or was it something else? Not Doc Holliday. What Doc Holliday? Good God, it's a long day, kids. Okay, the doc from Back to the Future. Where did westerns come from? Goodness.
Well, the third one is a western.
Yeah, that's got a Doc Holliday in it, but I mean the doc that Christopher
Brown.
Lloyd played.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doc Brown. That's what it was, Doc Brown. Ha! Once again, long day, kids. Long day.
All right. Well, before it gets even longer, then, Student Council. What'd you think?
All right, Student Council. Well, my thoughts were, first, I thought they are really pushing the Starlight and Trixie Trixie pairing. The very first beginning of it was like, okay, that kudos to that. That's a slice of life. That's exactly how I think like two in a relationship would be, and how they would actually sound if, say, like one is trying to bring to the other's attention that they work too much, and when Starlight says we're spending time now, I'm like, oh, that is exactly what happens. How many people I think got him like, oh my gosh, my ex-boyfriend or my ex-husband or my ex-wife or something said the same thing. But yeah, they're really pushing the Starlight Trixie pairing.
Are these
Yep.
writers trolling the fandom?
Oh, I think they'll find their ways. I think they have their ways. But not just that pairing, Mudbriar and Maud. Back again. Or Mudbriar, or Stick in the Mud, as I like to call him. By the way, shout out.
Day Lover's joke there.
I was just getting ready to mention Day Lover, because now, thanks to her, I cannot look Mudbriar in the. I can't look at Mudbriar and not think of that wonderful, awesome, amazing joke that Day Lover. Just thinking about it now makes me laugh.
Yeah, you'll have to watch our react to one of the other Mudbriar episodes.
Oh my gosh, and get ready to laugh. Get ready to laugh. I still giggle when I see Mudbriar. But then Mudbriar says, "I will always be a stick pony." Nobody knows this, but then I watched it again just now, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm thinking, like, the show just called itself on it. I think the show trolled itself at the same time.
Accidents happen.
We don't make mistakes. We make happy little accidents, and that's exactly in that case. And it was very perfect. Let's see.
I did like Mudbriar better this time. I mean, I still think pairing Maud with an attempted, basically a male version of him or male version of her rather, was a little bit cheap. But at least he's a little more endearing this time. Like, I still thought most of the good lines came from her, but him having to start to be aware of how his technically line annoys people and.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was good that Trixie. That was good that had Trixie there to kind of react to him. So that, and good on Stick in the Mud for picking up on that and for picking up on that. That's good. That's actually good. You know, that saves him from the glue factory pretty much where Closey Glow is. I have to say, Maud. Okay, Maud is at her best in this. Maud is at her best in this. Okay, at the end, she's like, swoon.
I kind of like that.
I'm like, why am I laughing so hard? Why am I laughing so?
Maud deadpans something where, like, you know, she's feeling. Actually, that time she does like add a little bit of affection.
Oh man.
But her deadpan, like, her deadpan reaction to him being turned to petrified stone is, I didn't think I could love him anymore.
I love it. It's like, the funny thing is, like, Mudbriar and Maud just make me laugh much harder than Starlight and Trixie. The deadpan couple makes me laugh more than the other more animated couple. Very clever there. I swear, people are gonna be like, oh, the perverted ships are sailing here when like Maud and everything because she's so deadpan. Like, what could she be thinking or whatever? But the fact that the swoon thing, I'm like, oh boy, Derpy Boru's gonna be going mad with this. That's all I gotta say. And then when she gets turned into a stone, he gets turned to stone. Did how many people? Quite a show of hands, audience. How many people's minds went into the gutter? I'm raising both mine and my feet. So I'm like, yep. I couldn't help it at this point. I just could not help it. But yeah, Maud is at her. That couple is at their best in this, but at the same time, with another thing that makes Stick in the Mud. Okay, the line when he's like, "I will always be a stick pony." Thanks, Day Lover. And
it's too bad she's not here. She's so much better at playing off of this than I am.
I know, but let her know. Jenn says, "Thanks, Day Lover," and also the fact that he's like, "I enjoy the denseness of rock," and which kind of, other than taking a warp speed drive into the gutter, they could also be like he kind of gets why Maud loves rocks. So
let's not forget.
Sorry.
It's been turned to a giant hunk of rock. You've got the hunk part right.
Oh, Maud Pie, I love you.
I will second that.
Oh boy, everyone's my mind goes into the gutter so quick when it comes to Maud and Stick and Mudbriar. It's like, oh man, help me! Oh boy, it's that really almost like took care of the whole comedy factor of the episode. Other than that, like, Starlight and Trixie definitely balanced each other pretty good, and both were kind of in the wrong in a sense. This was a little interesting. Both were kind of in the wrong. Trixie kind of forcing Starlight to not to kind of close her door early, and then Starlight working so hard. Good compromise they had at the end.
I was a little
really
wary of that. Oh, sorry. If you wanted to say.
No, it's okay. Just I'll wrap it up a little bit. The cockatrice, I think there was just, even if it was just filler, it was necessary filler. They had to have the conflict, and that was it. That was it. They had the cockatrice in there, and honestly, yeah, and I guess they were necessary. They did add to the comedy factor too with Mudbriar.
Sure.
Overall, my only thoughts of it. Overall, not a bad episode. Not a bad episode. I can't call it good, even though I'm laughing like a maniac with Mudbriar and Maud. I can't quite call it good, but it's not horrible.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing with it, I guess, just like early on, I was a little suspicious of how they were doing the Starlight's kind of wrong, but Trixie's kind of wrong. Like, call that the runaround style almost.
Yeah.
They they don't seem to have like a particular moral in mind, or they don't seem to like be pushing either one too much, and they're also like the details of what would make who right or wrong. They don't go into those. You don't get to form your own opinion about it either. Just like
right,
it's all in the dark. And the first two acts, I would still say they're just sort of at par as is. I mean, there's fun character interplay, but also, just waiting for them to get to the point on, or like when they feel like getting to the point on the right and wrong and what Starlight's doing, because it's probably not great regardless, but I'm everybody probably heard me, being wary of it, I'll say, in the React, because usually it ends up being, in my experience, or at least more often than not, ends up being an excuse for one of three things, either to just keep dragging it out, keep going, well, it's this, but it's also this, but it's also the first one, but it's also the second one, but to just keep repeating itself until it gets to the end, at which point it says either aha, clearly this one was the moral the whole time, or oh, it's the end, we can stop now. A little of both. Or that, or two, to drag it out so they can have hijinks! Which... Oh,
yeah, I think they needed the filler. That's why they needed the cockatrice. They needed the filler for the hijinks!
Yeah. Well, that one, taking this approach, to me, that's more like something like Spike at Your Service, where it's pretty obvious what he should do, but if we let him come to that conclusion, we wouldn't have time for him to build walls and inflate Applejack and be a horrible cook. Yuck.
Inflate Applejack.
Yeah. This, is more something I would interpret as, laying the groundwork, this is our conflict, and alright, now that we've laid that out, we can get to, the trouble that it causes, causing Silverstream to run into the Everfree Forest, and for the first two acts, it rewards our patience with, I gotta say, a really fun freewheeling climax there. Just really making use of what the show has on the table, I thought, and like you said, a lot of comedy, a lot of fun little adventure with the cockatrice, stepping it up from before this time, a whole swarm of them, and the horrors of that, and Silverstream befriending one, and Maud, loving her new rocky boyfriend. I don't know, Josh Aber, he seems to get a bum rap in the fandom these days, even from our group a little bit, but I don't know, at his best, I think he's almost like a better Nick Confalone. He can also be really funny and have a lot of fun with the characters, really get into all the fun there is to be had with them, but, you know, he can do it almost a little more naturally. He can progress it to that point, like he doesn't need to, force things to be so, like, you cheesy! Like,
Right.
he's not the kind of guy who realizes that salt makes his popcorn taste better and so pours the whole can on it. Like, he can balance it a little more, which I appreciate. But yeah, that said, I get why he gets a bit of a bum rap, because he's the guy in charge of everything, and, like, that's where, like, when that became the case, that's where I felt like his writing went from, something like Simple Ways, where I thought he was real excited to, set out, see all the fun and all the, legit character dilemma that could be had with Rarity, and where it went from that to kind of how a writer writes when they're just trying to meet deadlines. Like, the competency was still there, but the enthusiasm, like, however much he could scrape together, like, sometimes you get Road to Friendship, where I felt like there was some where he was referencing the old Road movies, to, from that to The Crystalling, where the Baby Flurry Heart's big debut, where I didn't feel like there was much at all.
Except the debut of the future Overlord of Equestria.
Yeah, well, much enthusiasm, I mean, like, it, well, to me, that's his least enthusiastic episode. Other people might have other opinions there.
Right.
But no, like, I felt like he really got into this, at least at the end, so, you know, I appreciate that he still has some of that left.
Right.
So, yeah, that was pretty fun, and, I mean, and the moral, like, you know, it didn't try to, like, the episode didn't try to claim that it accomplished more than it did, like, aha, clearly this was the moral the whole time. It was just like, okay, like, yeah, we brought up both because both sides are important, so they need to find their compromise at the end, so there you go, for what that's worth.
Right.
Which, and actually, I didn't even say what the third route I usually see shows doing this is, which, and granted, this show, not so much. This show, if it goes this third route, it usually likes to overplay one side leading up to it, like in, I know, like Rarity Takes Manhattan, for example, like there's, quote-unquote, a little bit of both sides at work, but you can clearly see what it's going to do and what the moral is going to be, even from Rarity singing that first song, like, generosity is so important, da-da-da, and of course that's going to be challenged somehow, but it's going to be so dramatically important to learn that generosity is super important, because that is the moral we feel like doing, so drink the Kool-Aid and believe in the importance of the generosity, and yeah, I'm going off a bit here, but yeah, like I've other shows more so than this one. This one maybe once or twice, but yeah, we'll also do it where like both sides are just kind of like, a little of this, a little of that, so in the last act it can go like, oh, how could you even think it was ambiguous? Clearly, the one side was so utterly important. Clearly, like, for you to even think the other one mattered, not at all, because drink the Kool-Aid of how overwhelmingly important this side is. Like, I'm not very fond of that one either, if you can't tell, but, yeah, luckily, this one found a way around all of it. Like Josh Haber, it seems like you can count on him to find a good balance, if nothing else, and in this case, even a little more than that. Like, this is probably my favorite since, Frenemies, anyway. I'd say it's a solid B grade, maybe approaching a B+.
Yeah, not bad.
Which, although, I mean, I guess more along your take on this, I will be disappointed if this winds up in my season top 10, because, like, I feel like season 9 is shaping up to be a good one, and if it can't come up with, how many would it need, like 6 more episodes better than this one, I will be a little disappointed. Like, this kind of thing, I think, should be just like the fun little time passer that we get along the way.
Right. Very true. Very true. But not the. I guess overall for both of us, not a bad episode.
Yeah, solid one. Although, I mean, did you say what holds it back from being the greatest for you? Because I mean, I know I gave my reasons that the first 2 acts are just sort of not spectacular, just not terrible, just sort of at par.
So what holds it back for me for it being like great or so to me?
Or that good or whatever.
What holds it back? Let's see. Let me see. What holds it back? It's a good question here. A good question. I think in a way, I think sort of in a way, Starlight and Trixie kind of hold it back. Just the fact they are acting like a couple. Not that I don't know, something about just them like acting like a couple rather than friends or something. Or well, friends can do that too, but
it's relatively pedestrian. Like you've seen funnier parts
yeah.
of the show.
You know what? Yeah, I think that just seems like a recycled. Just the thing is, like Starlight's working too much, and I don't know. It did seem like taken from another plot from another show. Let's see. Oh yeah, here. I just figured it out. This is what holds it back. Just Starlight, just being so forgetful. I mean, a side effect of okay, that's a side effect of when you have when you have way too much on your plate, you're gonna forget some things. And a little. And by the way, this is. I really think they really are pushing the Starlight and Trixie pairing because Sunburst was mentioned and she didn't even blink. Yeah, I'm more convinced now. I'm more convinced. She's like, Sunburst is coming. She's like, nothing, crickets. But yeah, Starlight being so.
More towards. Other friends.
Welcome to the friend zone. Welcome to the friend zone, Sunburst. Hope you don't catch feelings later on because that ship will be gone without you. Yep. Unless all the fans want to think of something freaky, but of course they will. I think just Starlight being so forgetful about everything. Not even that. Not even that. I just really think like just the interaction with Starlight and Trixie kind of holds it back a bit.
Just like, so wacky,
but also I think the climate.
Whatever.
But also it seems like the climate of the final season just a whole, and I think because we've seen so many kind of meh episodes, it's kind of clouding. We're dulling ourselves to whatever excitement could come, Or
whatting ourselves.
I mean, I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm thinking like whatever. If there is something exciting, like we won't be able to enjoy it because we don't know what it is or what it's supposed to be or something. I don't know if that makes any sense or not.
Well, I was kind of saying like where for example, the big premiere of season 9, like we're doing the final season thing, where I felt like. Yeah, I've been more psyched for that in other shows, and where, in spite of the fact I thought it was a pretty good episode in its own right, where it felt hamstrung, felt like it had to force stuff to happen a little bit, is that we really haven't had a clear direction for a while. That since I think we had season 4 with we do want to actually have Twilight come into her own as a princess, not just, hand her the crown and yay, perfect. But since then, our directions, season by season, have been a soon-to-be pointless cutie map, an apprentice who learns the same lesson 3 times and saves the day, and well, I guess that's resolved. And then, to be fair, we did have season 7 kind of trying to refocus the lore, and I thought that was at least a noble attempt. Pillars, Pony of Shadows, what could this mean for the expanding lore of the show? Okay, let's finally take it in a direction now. And then season 8 said, well, that was fun. How about a friendship school? So, like, okay, so
Yeah.
shooting map that went nowhere, so Apprentice that didn't go very far, so new direction that got scrapped, so school, so final season. Like, I mean, what do you even do with that? The villains unite, and, because, like, it seems like by default they almost have to say that Twilight's the main character again, and that the final season is going to be about her being ready to take over for Celestia and Luna, which, is probably a worthy idea. In fact, I think that was Lauren Faust's original intention, but, the thing about that is that they have to kind of do it from square one now, because Twilight has very much not been the focus from the past several seasons. Like, instead of feeling like we have to go in and be psyched for that, it feels like this season is trying to, draw it up from leftovers.
Yeah, also, I'll admit, I actually I've been warming up to the Student 6, honestly. They're not an unwelcome addition to the MLP world. Definitely not. Of course, I love Yona. Yona's so cute. She's just absolutely just adorable. Just adorbs. And just and of course, like, no, I guess Ocella's is kind of cute too, and the little change, like, yeah, she's adorable, and I still can't believe Smolder's a girl. That's gonna. I know, like you say that, but for one, I think it's funny, and number two, I still can't believe it.
Very tomboyish dragon.
Very. I mean, completely fooled. Totally completely fooled. I'm waiting for somebody to come out and be like, "Ha, we punked you. He's really a guy." I'm like, I freaking know it. I'm just waiting for that. Probably not gonna happen. But if it did, okay. You know what? I was talking about, like, about us being kind of dulled by, meh episodes. Okay, I'm gonna say this. If I think with this final, when is there going to be, like, the final episode, like the finale? When's the final episode of?
Yeah, like, the newest date we've got, I think, is an in-between season movie special thing that comes out at the end of June.
Okay. Well, either way, I know, and I hope they will pull out all the stops for the final episode. I think they have to. They cannot end it on a whimper. It would be an injustice.
Especially not if they want to.
It would be an injustice.
Psyched for season 5.
Right. It would be you mean Gen 5? Gen 5, yeah. Yeah, you need to give them, like, okay, the other season finale that had me, like, just on the ceiling, like, wow, was season 4. That was the last great finale. Season 2 is, like, it used to be my favorite finale. Well, it's still kind of up there, but 4 kind of, like, is first place. Season 2 very close second.
They both have a lot of their strengths.
Very close second.
Like, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with, like, which one?
Season 2, like, very close second, and season 3, well,
Day Lovers, the magical mystery cure.
Very close third, because the only reason, this is my only gripe with it. I love the songs in it, and that, in fact, it was a whole musical and everything, because back then I was I still kind of am, all about the music in there. The only thing the one that held it back for me then was because I thought Twilight became an alicorn way too soon, in my opinion. That's my little 2 cents. But that's the only the whole thing. But since season 4, there hasn't been a really great season finale since. But I'm thinking, like, okay, this is season 9. This is the final. This is the curtain closes. This is the wrap up. This is the final thing. You've got to come out, guns blazing, everything. But I'm saying, like, okay, if there is one way, if there's a couple of ways to make at least myself, like, have that season 4 finale feeling again. I think
This season might have the capabilities for that.
Actually, I think two things could. You know what? Two things could happen, and I'm going to go backwards because I'm going to build it up. Number 2, have Mudbriar and Quibblepants have a conversation with each other. Because now this is it. Now, if there's any one thing that this season did that I deemed impossible, they dulled my hate for Quibblepants. Clever. Very clever on you for having Patton Oswalt come in to do an episode dedicated to his wife, and a very, very way out of slice of life, very, very slice of life episode, and putting him with it too. So you see a more emotional side of Quibblepants that now has dulled my hate. So, yeah, clever writers, very clever. But now I'm like, you know what? Put Mudbriar and Quibblepants in the same room and have them converse. Just see what happens. Just for giggles. Just for giggles, right? Just to see what happens. Just for lulz.
The first series was smart
and then
cool, and an amazing nod to old-time serialized adventures, which somehow manages to be self-reflexive and ironic while celebrating the art form without a hint of cynicism. Technically, being ironic is somewhat cynical by definition.
Second, you just wrote the finale.
Quibblepants and Mudbriar arguing with each other.
You just wrote the finale. You just wrote the finale. You need to get that idea to the writers and demand money.
Really?
I mean, right now. You just wrote the freaking finale. There you go. But, however, the number one thing that to me that will make this and that will make the final episode, that will give me the season 4 happiness again, you obliterate Cozy Glow. Obliterate her. I want to see her explode. I want to see her explode in millions of itty-bitty
Austin friendship, baby.
Second, you're the best. You are the best. You are the best. There it is. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Second Opinion has just written my fantasy final fantasy finale. There we go. Final fantasy finale. Yeah, you pretty much done it. Seriously. That is the one thing that can make the final thing just wonderful. Obliterate Cozy Glow. I want to see her explode in itsy bitsy pieces, never to return. The Glow Factory is not enough for this kind of evil. It must be destroyed.
There were some theories that we'd get different factions of the main characters battling the evil alliance, like what the CMC against Cozy Glow, and maybe who was we got Tyrek and I don't know. I mean, Twilight is going to have to be in whatever faction takes on Grogar. Maybe the main 6 against Grogar and the pillars against.
I want to see what Grogar. I'm actually interested in Grogar. I'm actually interested in what Grogar plans to do, and I want the stakes high for this. I mean, that's another thing. Grogar, you got to put some really high stakes on Grogar, and I thought Tyrek had some pretty high ones. I thought you don't get any more higher than that, but when you got to the likes of Tyrek kind of cowering a little bit to Grogar, yeah, wow. I want to know what Grogar's motive is, and we know what his motive is, but how his means of carrying out his nefarious plan.
Yeah, I mean,
or something like that.
Everybody, at least 2 villains have been on the very verge of taking literally everything, like Tyrek and his 2-parter, of course, and maybe to a lesser extent Chrysalis and her finale with Starlight. So I think, if you want to step it up with Grogar, it has to be not so much how he's even worse, because I don't know if you get much worse than that, but how he's even harder to defeat, how he maybe shatters the tree and defeats the
Right.
friendship, or overpowers the friendship blast, or something like that. And there has to be a moral inside, a moral on how to put the punches together to take him down.
Right.
As for this one, though, I hope we get good enough so that it doesn't make my top 10. But I would say it's still in the running. Like, I think with that climax, it might have leapfrogged over that last one with the seedling beast. Was that what it's called? The seed beast? The great seedling?
Seed.
Well, the one with
Not sure.
leapfrogged over episodes like that, and the Quibble Pants episode, and Point of No Return, and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's get some more A grades in here.
Yes. More A grades, please. Also, like what was the one with the dragon one with Garble?
Sweet and Smoky, I believe.
The one. Sweet and Smoky, thank you. Yes, Sweet and Smoky. That was good. That was really good. That was actually really good, and also I like that, and also wanted to mention that, I just thought of it just now. You got an odd kind of subtle redemption to Garble.
I'm guessing you haven't seen the part of the React where I gave my thoughts on that, but
Oh, that's right. It may have been the one where I was about to pass out and I had to leave. Oh, you probably already said it, didn't you?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I thought it was kind of the opposite of a show don't tell episode, which is where I had trouble buying some of it, but I don't know. First time I've been in that kind of boat.
Gotcha.
But I have my own great selections. Like, I wouldn't mind another Twilight 7, even though there really can't be one because that was the 200th episode. But yeah, more with like the villains versus the main 6 plotline, like the premiere of this season, or frenemies.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun with that. It seems like they have really good stuff in store for that. So yeah, I'd like to see them inject.
I'm curious of what they will do with I'm definitely very curious of what they will do with, it's going to come down to it, the good guys versus the bad guys in this. That's what I'm thinking.
Like there's a good chance the bad guys will self-destruct and or Grogar's henchmen will turn good.
I'm just wondering, there's a redemption thing around the corner. It's either going to be redemption or annihilation.
Yeah, I mean, the Raiders seem like they're aware that the fandom got a little sick of redemption, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily
I'm not alone.
Do it. Like, they could be like, after having these villains refuse it for a while, and maybe having Grogar go out, and Sombra, for that matter, go out without ever doing it, be like, well, yeah, but you know why we did it so much? Because we believe in redemption. We believe that you can find the good through friendship, and that, like, Chrysalis, Cozy, and Tyrek will be redeemed. Which, if they have a nice plot in mind for that, like having them be frenemies forever, best frenemies forever, then I might not necessarily mind that. Like,
I don't know about that.
Case, right?
I just want Cozy's annihilation. That's all. I want Cozy to get annihilated. Chrysalis, I don't want her to really get annihilated, but if she does, I would not be sad. But however, I'm so on the fence about her getting redeemed. I'm so on the fence about her getting redeemed. If they're going to, if they do, and also Tyrek, because he had some pretty high stakes. How do you redeem that? How do you redeem that?
Oh, they almost have had like checkered pasts in a way, like for redemption, or heck, even if they don't go the redemption route for that matter. But there's almost a cat, like each one almost has a character that they need to be confronted with, or whichever way they end up going on. Yeah, redeemed or not. Like, Chrysalis needs to have a standoff, I think, with Thorax and Starlight, like old queen versus new king, and
Oh, that's it. No, oh, I like that. I tell you, second, you need to write this finale.
maybe I should consider.
I seriously, you need to write this finale.
But and then Tyrek needs to
Of
have a
course!
standoff with his brother. Like, we need to see Scorpan in this, or at least that could probably.
Yes, yes, great idea. Yes, great idea. Yes, great idea. I mean, from what I've heard, Tyrek. From what I've heard, I don't know if this is true or not. Tyrek is a Gen 1 villain, right?
The very first MLP
Okay.
thing ever created for television, the Rescue.
Okay, so he's a Gen. Oh, he's a call. So he's all the way back from the very big genesis of My Little Pony. He's a Gen 1 villain. Now, Wait, we said what? Scorpan?
Yeah,
That's his brother.
In this, in the G1 special, Scorpan is his slave, which.
But in this case, it's brother. But in this case, it's brother this time.
Which, and ironic, that's kind of ironic they have closer relationship, but we've never seen Scorpan in person.
Right. You know what? Yeah, bring in Scorpan. I mean, come on. You brought Tyrek from Gen 1. Let's bring on the brother from Gen 1. And you know what? I think that could be it. That could be the season 1 action finale. That could be the final season action finale, the feeling that season 4 had, because that has so much potential. That could have so much potential for an epic fight of the ages, And
like a character standoff too, like a standoff of mind and body, as it were. Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. There you go. But also another thing that's interesting, there was a theory I heard a long time ago. They think in the final that Celestia and Luna will kind of go away. They'll kind of ascend to
Sun and the moon. Like that.
Yeah. And then Twilight will be like complete ruler of all Equestria. I don't know. They said something about retire. There was an episode in which they tried to retire. But that did not go well.
Let's retire.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Like, I don't know how much time she's actually had as ruler.
Right. They probably would not do that. And now that you said that, because Luna hadn't been back that long, yeah, I kind of hope they don't go that route.
That, like, if Celestia,
I kind of hope they don't go that route.
With her, like the two sisters are kind of an item.
Of course.
At this point.
Right, they're pretty much stuck at the hip. They're the sun and the moon, pretty much. Without the sun and the moon, it's just chaos. And then you have the rule of Discord, the age of the Draconecus.
Behold.
Oh, that's it. Behold, behold, the Princess Discord triumphs. Behold, behold. Then you'd be like, "Oh, stop!" You're like, "Oh, stop it! Haven't we already done this before? Let's throw a little fun into it." And then all of a sudden, like, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know, some like techno or dance party music come on. I'm like, I don't know what's going on in this new era, but dang it, I like it.
Discord has Majin Buu's theme music.
Dance parties
like
every day. Oh God, no. Ugh. Majin Buu. Ugh. If there's any animated character I absolutely just detest, it is Majin Buu. I cannot stand that pink thing of.
He has the theme music though that would fit Discord pretty well. His sounds like some twisted music almost.
I'd probably start running I'd probably start running in terror and be like, "No, for God's sake, no! Anything but that." But can't you think of a new evil theme, a new like entrance theme music than the Majin Buu thing? There's got to be something better than that.
That all said.
How about One Punch Man? That's always fun.
One Punch Man's theme music. That'll be a sight.
Why not? One Punch! much. I'll take it.
Discord gets
I'll
mad
take
this
it.
season, decides to get his revenge on Tyrek.
Oh, that'd be awesome. If they ever, and oh my goodness, if and Discord's is dropping references like left and right. If for some reason, I know the writers and animators can do it. They can put a subtle reference to One Punch Man in there.
A red glove and like punch Tyrek to the moon.
And he's got to have a cape on. He's got to have a cape on. He's got to have like a Draconecus version of like Saitama's outfit. It can be done. Totally.
That said, like, yeah, we need
totally. It can so be
this
done.
season. One way Grogar needs to one up all the seasons is that he needs to defeat Discord, because like, especially since we've already seen Tyrek at max power do that.
What would be?
So, yeah,
what would be the point of defeating Discord? He's already been defeated. Come to think of it, twice.
Well,
twice. Well, yeah,
like,
three times.
Three
times.
He's been
Three
defeated
times.
by Tyrek gaining
No, wait.
literally all the power.
He's been defeated by the Royal Sisters. Right. He's been defeated first by the Royal Sisters, then the Elements of Harmony, and
Royal
then
Sisters
Tyrek.
also used the
But
Elements
okay,
of Harmony.
four. If you actually
Chrysalis,
four.
She took away
Actually,
all
four
his
times.
power.
Four if you count Fluttershy.
Well,
4 if you count Fluttershy.
bargaining with him, but yeah, like, okay, so Discord, like, we know that, like, he has the
I
power
still
to
think
do
it was the-
literally anything, but as long as it's on his own terms, like, other magic can overwhelm his magic, which is kind of a loose sort of limit. But yeah, like, I guess Grogar needs to demonstrate that, nothing except whatever the perfect friendship solution ends up being can defeat him.
Not sure how that would go down. I don't even know if Discord would even be in the fight.
Keeping him out, but like for the final season, I think they can, like, one more time, the greatest threat of all. I think they can demonstrate one more time something where Discord comes up short.
They probably would. Well, I don't know. Maybe Discord could be the one to ascend or something, to be like the martyr figure. As horrible as that sounds.
Payoff to his arc. But of course, what everyone really wants is to see him settle down with Fluttershy and.
You want to wreck everybody. You will wreck. You will wreck an entire fandom. An entire fandom will be wrecked for the rest of their lives. I'll admit I would be too.
Gen 5 is gonna have.
I'd be like, what have I done?
Back like, hey, just breaking down the fabric of reality to visit.
Oh, nothing. It's just nothing. Just the writers thought I thought my services would be needed elsewhere.
Hey.
That could work. Like I'm not a bad person after all. I don't know. Just a funny idea. Like somebody could. I would feel like for these finales there has to be some sort of like martyr figure or something. I don't know, but maybe someone. I'm watching too much real life stuff. I'm watching too much real life stuff.
Okay, so as you can see, we're pretty excited for where the key episodes can go this season, and we've gotten pretty far away from student council.
I hope it's not Twilight.
Just kind of a fun little its own thing, although it does demonstrate that the writers these days tend to be, at least very often, more excited about the new characters that they've added instead of the characters that started out as someone else's vision, as other writers' visions way back down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've heard different showrunners who had to take over a show to say that, yeah, that can be pretty hard to do, and that might be why we've had so many different directions, just like so many new people constantly put in charge trying to figure out what to do with them. Like, yeah, why? At least a portion of the fandom, I think including us, feels like that a lot of the newer seasons weren't always as inspired, like they were trying to figure out what to do. But that all said, this last one does have us pretty excited for where it could potentially go, and yeah, even when it's not that, even when it's just its offhand bits of fun, it's still not half bad. Yeah.
Agreed.
It's going to end up better than Season 8 on both our cards.
We sure hope so.
Barring some spectacular collapse, but that's to
Oh,
find
dear.
out for
I hope
sure
not.
another day, I guess.
True. We'll save that for another
In the
episode.
meantime, this is your critic first, fan second opinion.
And this is Jen.
At Gen 1.
And we're
all
signing.
the Gens. Gens later.
They're all in the closet. Shut up! They're all in the closet. I told them, I told them, how many times I keep telling them, there can be only one! There's too many of us in the world anyway. But that's why they're put them all in my closet.
Or whatever.
One to find them. One to bind them. One to bring them together, and then the darkness bind them.
So
or something
let
like
her
that.
get back to that. In the meantime, take care.
So that's our opinions.
Have a good
See you later.